blue lives, black lives matter. It's back the badge. We're racking the badge. Everybody's life matters. What happened is I just said, you know what? I need to create a rally because I think it's time that our law enforcement see, instead of hearing support, they need to see our support. And so I created this event, put it on Facebook, and it took off. It had over 370 shares, 370,000 shares, I should say. So, you know, it's spreading. Right now, this is spreading like wildfire, and we need to continue it. A select few of bad apples doesn't represent the whole police force, and that's what we're trying to get, try to get across to people, is just because there's a few bad apples does not mean the whole tree is bad. You just pick those bad apples and regrow new ones. Everybody slams that thinking, but it's true. And that's what we're out here to show, is that we can be out here showing support for our law enforcement who protect us while we sleep, and respond to calls whenever we need them. This whole movement of defund the police, I'm very against it. I will be at city councils in the area if they ever want to bring it up. I will be there fighting against it. So that's what the movement is right now, is we're just trying to ensure that we keep our police departments.
I'm a firm supporter of law enforcement in our country. I think, without the law, there is no freedom in the United States. There's no freedom anywhere in the world, and history has proven that time and time again. So for me, it's just a core value to support those who ensure law and order in our society, and especially our police officers and the rest of our law enforcement officers. I firmly stand against the defund movement. Having been a city council member, understanding, the trials and tribulations of getting enough money into the different departments, especially police, they're constantly underfunded. And what people are talking about in the reform movement, they don't understand how we fund police departments. The first thing that gets cut when funding is cut is training time. The first thing that we lose are our quality experienced officers, and they get replaced by people with less experience and less training. I think having a discussion about anything that provides better service to taxpayers is a valuable discussion, but I think people, before they just absolutely jump on the bandwagon of a political talking point by one party, need to understand what those repercussions look like in their own community. So I support the police. I do not support defunding them. I support law and order, and I would hope that before people just jump on a platform, they would do the research to understand, again, what that means to their community.
If a BLM chapter wanted to come and join us, they could. I'm not against it. I'm not against Black Lives Matter. I'm not against it. What I'm against is whenever the looting and the rioting and the attacking on officers when they're trying to control things. That's what I'm against. That's what we're all against. I'm not against a peaceful protest saying, Black Lives Matter, this matters, this matters. That's what we're doing. Yeah, I'm not against that. And like I said, I'm against on when they want to start causing destruction to their own town. There's always option for reform. There's always option to relook at use of force policies and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is that, there's a saying, whenever you're met with force, you use like force. So if we take away too much, if we restrict the officers too much of not being able to use a certain amount of force, then that puts their lives at risk. I'm not saying we should be, boxing it out, but I'm saying, if an officer is in a fight for his life with a subject, then he should be able to use whatever means necessary so he and that subject can live, can go on their separate ways. But sometimes people just want to fight the cops just because they want to. And so I think that there needs to be maybe some reform and some policy changes. I'm not saying totally take away certain things, but there's always room for change, always.